Disclaimer: the views and opinions expressed on Naruto do not reflect those of Anime Herald. Due to strong language, listener discretion is advised. Now sit back and enjoy the show. Shiny, makeup, get your ass up, everybody. It's time for Nerd Talk, the only podcast that fights evil by daylight, wins love by moonlight, never runs from bad anime. And tonight, I'm joined by Matt Brown, Anthony Simpson, and our special guest, Charlene Ingram from Viz Media. All right, well, before we begin, I want to say again, thank you for staying with us. I really do appreciate it.
Of course. I like talking to you guys.
Absolutely. How would you describe the reception Tale has been seeing now that it's finally starting to hit market? People are starting to get the sets. And what are your thoughts to the people's reactions to the new dub and casting?
People really love it. The response has been pretty overwhelmingly positive. I mean, people really love the limited edition. That one is definitely doing the best of the two SKUs. People are just so excited to have Sailor Moon back on the shelves, on the combo pack, and they really like the booklet and everything, and of course all the extras. So we're seeing a lot of positive reaction. Like, it's been a very glittery squee fest. So yeah, and it's been really strong. Like the print run ended up being much bigger than we expected, and it's doing very well. Just on our initial numbers that we've been able to see. Again, it's street days, so we probably won't have any more concrete numbers for another week or so, but it's trending very well.
That's fantastic to hear. Absolutely wonderful. And in its build up to the release, what would you say has been the most memorable thing that you've seen coming from the fans? Is there some sort of interaction or moment that really just stuck out to you?
Well, ever since the announcement, it's all been just very special, but just seeing fans' reaction to the uncut, uncensored dub for the first time, and seeing it on Blu-ray when we've been taking it to all the conventions, of course, the reaction to seeing that footage on Hulu. It's all been just really great. Lots of happy tears. People are just so happy. A big memory is doing the big voice actor announcement at Anime Expo, giving those guys, those actors who are working so hard to make this show magical, to be able to give them that rock star welcome that they deserve. That was definitely a happy memory. And it's just been, just seeing the whole cast, get really comfortable with their roles and becoming friends even outside of the studio. It's been something very special. It just speaks to the power of Sailor Moon.
Absolutely.
I'm sure you're aware of the Moon Anime Makeup Project, which reanimated a full episode of the project. Have you seen the finished project?
Yes, I've seen it.
Okay, what are your...
Of anime. I'm a big fan of animation, so I love all types of experimental animation, so of course I'd be drawn to this.
Okay, so what are your thoughts on what came out of the effort?
I think it was very visually intriguing. I think it was really neat to have many different art styles take a visual take on it, and I thought it was very innovative in that way.
Okay, would Viz ever consider working with fans to produce a similar project with new dub?
There would, because that previous version is not approved, there's pretty much no way that the official version would be endorsed like that. That's something that just isn't done with anime. So while it was interesting as a piece of fan art, it's not something that would be official.
Interesting. And the first release of the series features things like the actual panel announcement and that immediate aftermath. You did similar when you started releasing the Rama sets, and I have to admit, I found this really interesting. I really do appreciate seeing stuff like this, just because most of the time we don't get to actually sit in a room and really feel that energy. Do you see Viz including more extras of this nature onto the sets going forward?
There are a little bit more of the behind the scenes, but it also comes down to how much the fans want them. We tried to put a little bit on that first set, It was very difficult to get extras on the first set because we couldn't really do any filming until the announcement. And with all the approvals that Sailor Moon has to go through, even that May to November turnaround was extremely difficult. That's why you'll see a lot of the Anime Expo and Otakon stuff show up on set 2 coming out in February. So we're trying to put these behind the scenes. We're doing in future sets a lot of interviews with not only people who are super fans, people who helped us out with the cosplay events, but we've also been doing some interviews with other animators who found their way into animation inspired by Sailor Moon. So you'll see a lot of modern American people in the animation industry talking about how Sailor Moon influenced them. But, based on feedback, and of course, if fans want to see any different extra features, definitely let us know, as we're trying to make the extras on the Blu-rays very robust. That's why we added some of the things like some of the voice actor interviews, some of the behind the scenes in studio. On that first set that came out today, we were lucky enough to get behind the scenes of the very first day of recording. So that was something special. And I just recently went down to Burbank, and I did a little bit more of the behind the scenes as they've been growing and progressing with their characters.
Very cool, very cool. And is there an extra that is in the Blu-rays right now that if you had a chance to tell someone that you'd recommend they just sit and watch?
Well, it's very surreal for me to watch the extras, because the announcement extras, there were so few people who knew about the announcement before it went up. So when we were at Anime Central, when we did the announcement, only 2 people knew what was going to go on in that room, one of which was the comm chair. Anybody who was there has seen the Viz panel before it. I came out in a suit, very business, did the whole Viz panel, and at the end of that, I pretty much did the Steve Jobs thing, but wait, there's one more thing, let me hop off stage and show you. During that hop off stage portion, during the announcement trailer, I had a friend waiting backstage. He had no idea what was going on. He helped me do my transformation sequence and change into my dress, and he was helping me get into part of my dress, and he saw the hand go up. He was like, "Shar, why didn't you tell me?" I'm like, "Sorry, secret. Where's my tiara?" And so that was, like, it's really weird to me watching the announcement panel again and that backstage stuff because of how nervous I was before that. Just getting ready before that panel. Like, normally at a con, I like to go around and see the convention and geek out with everyone, but I was so nervous that Friday. I stayed in my hotel room getting ready and listening to RuPaul songs on repeat just to get like enough power to put that bass in my walk and go on stage. As it was, I tried to project confidence, but I was internally screaming. So it's interesting for me to watch that. It's a little embarrassing. But all of it's really good. I love the first day with Stephanie and Robbie. I'd say that's definitely one to check out because there's a whole lot of raw moments like Stephanie and Robbie seeing each other again for the first time because they worked together years ago. The ASEN stuff, some of the fan reactions, like some of that, raw emotion because nobody knew. Nobody knew that announcement would happen then. So it's like it's like a little time capsule. It's like a relic in time. So to see that, and I think the evolution into the set 2 extras, which are in the process of getting approved, just seeing that grow, I think the extras will almost be like their own mini-series as they go through the seasons. Like seeing everybody get comfortable in their skin and as they get used to working on Sailor Moon. So it's a lot of little stuff, but yeah, for me, that ASEN panel reminds me of how terrified how absolutely terrified I was. Yeah, I'm still a little shy watching it, but yeah.
I can imagine how nerve-wracking that must have been. It must have been like walking on eggshells the whole time.
Well, I had to hide my MacBook, and there were two versions of the keynote because we didn't know until right before the panel if we could announce Crystal. So we had a version A and a version B, and I got the text shortly before that we were going with Crystal. So practicing that, and yeah. So it was definitely a go big or go home moment. I'm really happy that I grew up in the Midwest. I'm happy such a big announcement got to go to the Midwest.
Definitely.
Oh, I was just thinking during your last story, I wonder how many of our listeners know who RuPaul is.
They should know. RuPaul is fabulous.
Yeah, I know who RuPaul is.
If you ever need to be motivated, listen to RuPaul music. You will feel like you could crush anything. Like you'll feel like you can do anything. So RuPaul is the best motivating music. It's like take no prisoners. You can do it. Be fierce. Be fabulous. And yeah, I personally really love RuPaul because he always has such a positive message and just, not cutting people down, but just, you can do it. You can go and, you can be that fierce creature that is inside you. And that's why, that's my, hype. That's my walk to the plate music, so to speak.
All right. My question was, based on what we know about you, you would have what could be called as more than a passing interest in cosplay. My question is, based on the way the scene currently is, and I have to admit I'm kind of in the dark because even though I'm interested in cosplay culture, I don't really know all the major players. And I'm kind of wondering if you could shed a little light on that. Who would you say are either your three favorites, perhaps, or the people you think are the most influential in the scene right now?
Well, this is purely Char's opinion, so we're going to take this straight to Char's opinion. As far as who's influential, I don't really like to follow that because I feel cosplay is up to the individual person. You see a lot of people trying to chase what's called cosfame, and I think that's a little shallow, and that one should always define themselves beyond just dressing up like a character. It's always dangerous if one completely defines themselves by cosplay. It sells your own personality short. So cosplay is about your own individual expression, dressing up as the characters you want to, be it creating your own costumes if you sew, or cobbling them together from other things, or finding someone to make them for you. As long as, if you want to dress up like an anime video game character and that makes you happy, go out, wear it with pride, cosplay how you want to be. There's no rule for it. And even though I used to cosplay a lot, I don't get as much of a chance to cosplay anymore. But I really admire everyone that's got the balls to put on a costume and go out there and have fun. But I admire people who really, truly have fun with it, and they're not just seeking some type of, outside adoration. So that said, the cosplayers that I really like are people who they truly love anime. They truly love this culture. They'll watch an anime, they're super into it, and they love dressing up as it, and it may be popular characters, it may be characters that they really like. I love cosplaying with groups now, for things that I personally like. So as far as, who to look out for, there's just there's a lot of really good positive influences. I'm trying to think some people that stand out. I'm a part of a Love Live cosplay group that I affectionately call the Double Age Idols because we're all twice the age of the characters we cosplay as. And we have a lot of fun with it. But people, there's just a lot of positivity. I don't really want to call anybody specifically out because cosplay is what it means to you. It's not something necessarily someone should be idolized for. Maybe, to, look at how they sew and how they construct things, but it's something that should come from within your soul and out of the love for a character, not out of, I want to be like someone else. It's be the best you can possibly be.
No, I can definitely appreciate that. That makes sense. Actually, we sent it to you as a separate question, but it's almost kind of part of the same thing. I was wondering if you know anyone in or follow the Japanese cosplay scene, and I don't know, when I look at pictures and read about it, it seems more like it seems more like a formal production almost than just some people dressing up and having fun. I was wondering if you had any comments.
Well, I've had the chance to cosplay in Japan a couple times, and you know what? Fans are fans wherever they go. And I've had a blast cosplaying in Japan because it's something that completely crosses the language barrier. You see someone dressed up as an anime and you instantly made a friend, and you can talk about that. And that's really great. As far as like who I've worked with and I really like in the Japanese cosplay scene, I have to say from Anime Expo a couple years ago, we got to work with Kaname through K, and he's so sweet and genuine, and he truly loves anime and games. In fact, in between his photo shoots and working at the booth, signing his K autographs, he would always go sneak over to the Bushiroad booth and play card games. So he'd want to go play Card Fight, and it was just like his eyes would light up, and he was just he's such a fan through and through. It was, I like seeing that, universal love for anime and manga, and that, yeah, he was a really cool guy. But there's so many cool Japanese cosplayers. It's not just the photos you see from Comic-Con or Tokyo Game Show or special events. I really encourage people, if you go to Japan and you go to an anime event, watch the cosplayers interact. Watch them. I mean, they all nerd out over each other. They take pictures of each other, and it's really, really sweet. So there's not a whole lot of difference. It's people dress up because they love this stuff, and that makes me smile. That makes me smile a lot.
So I'll be going next. How influential do you believe Shonen Jump was when it came to bringing over shows like Naruto, Bleach, Death Note, etc.?
You mean the Shonen Jump, the magazine?
Yep, Viz's publication in general.
Oh, well, Viz, with the Viz's partnership with Shueisha, Shogakukan, obviously we always like to work on titles that we share publishing with. And those, to be honest, those titles are, far before my time at Viz. But it does add a special layer of context that we can work with the manga editors, and we can work very closely with both sides in bringing those titles out. So they're more, they fit very logically in Viz's business model.
Fantastic. And this one comes from Doran, who unfortunately couldn't make it. He did want me to ask this one. Seeing as Viz holds many iconic and memorable shows from a lot of people's childhoods, whether it's, say, Ranma 1/2, Maison Ikoku, Bleach, Naruto, do you think that nostalgia is or will be a strong market to attack for Viz going forward?
I think it goes beyond nostalgia. I think it goes, good content is eternal, and Viz wants to have the very best content to put out in front of people. So we're very fortunate to be able to work on titles like Ranma and now Sailor Moon, which also fit into that, nostalgia box as well. But at the end of the day, they're some of the best titles. So, we don't take every single title. We don't take huge amounts of them, but we try to get the best of the best and put all of our energy behind them and really put that love into everyone that we bring on board. And be it publishing, anime, we tend to put all hands on deck on something that we're working on. So it means a lot to get the best that we possibly can.
And we've kind of already, you kind of already touched on this a bit with your last answer, but Naruto is over, or it's ending after a very long run. And I know Shonen Jump is no stranger to long runs, but pretty soon there will be no new material. And I was wondering, kind of how does everyone in the Viz office feel about that to begin with? And I'm also wondering if what are your plans for Naruto going forward? And do you see its ending affecting your business at all?
Well, it wrapped its final chapter, its conclusion in Weekly Shonen Jump yesterday. And everyone, so we have a huge whiteboard mural here at the Viz office, and everybody all week has been drawing tribute art for Naruto. And it's really something else. I think it's the only time I've seen the entire whiteboard just filled with ninja. It's really great, but just because it wrapped the day and date serialization, there's still a lot left in the pipeline for Naruto. I mean, there's still books to come out. The anime is ongoing, so it's not going anywhere anytime soon. This is just Kishimoto Sensei's conclusion to the story right now. But we're always looking for the next upcoming series. So as one ends, another one will arrive. So, and I thought the ending was very, the conclusion yesterday was very beautiful. So, but for me, I work on the anime end, so got a long way left to go still.
I hope somebody's getting pictures of that whiteboard.
Yeah, I think the Viz HR account posted some of the pictures, but it's really cool.
Awesome. And I have just one more question. This one actually kind of ties back to previous question from an interview we had right after that first announcement. You mentioned that Viz on the digital end was attempting to stagger content so that there wouldn't be say, overlap between Sailor Moon and Sailor Moon Crystal. And given that it's been confirmed through key art and such that the next season will focus apparently pretty heavily on the Black Moon arc, which takes up a lot of the real estate of Sailor Moon R. Will you be taking similar measures during the Sailor Moon R run to ensure that you don't hit the same possible snags?
It depends. So Crystal will continue to go on its schedule. Mm-hmm. And those episodes are delivered very soon before the air date, but also the 2 episodes every Moon Day, those continue. So there may be a slight bit of cross, but the way the Sailor Moon R is handled is a little different from how it's handled in the manga. And, so far Sailor Moon Crystal's been pretty close to the manga. So there's really no way to tell, but we don't have any plans to pause the Moon Day episodes just because. Also, with those episodes going up on Mondays and Crystal going up first and third Saturdays, I don't think there's going to be a one-to-one cross. I think that's pretty impossible. But we had something similar with Crystal and where Sailor Moon Classic was. Like it was, close but not exact. They're two completely different experiences for the viewer. I mean, there's definitely fans that love Crystal, and there's fans that love the classic series more. And the great thing is people can choose which one they want, or both of them. They're both there for you. But, on streaming, both series have performed extremely well.
All right. Fantastic. And is there anything that you'd like to say to our listeners? Any closing remarks? Or?
Yeah, and I really I really thank the fans for all of their support of Sailor Moon, all their support of the remastered dub, the Blu-ray set. The Blu-ray combo sets have been doing very well, as have the DVDs. Sometimes shows that are pegged as girl shows get a reputation for not selling, but Sailor Moon is proving that wrong, and that's something very, very important in media, to bust through those notions that shows like that are unsellable. Not the case at all, and definitely not the case with Sailor Moon. So we really appreciate the fans showing their support of Sailor Moon returning.
All right, thank you very much. And before I go, for those that don't know, is there anywhere that people can follow you on, say, Twitter or Facebook?
For Viz, we're at Viz Media. The official Sailor Moon account is at Sailor Moon NA. And as for me, and it's just personal sharp stuff, completely outside of the office, my Twitter is Tristan Citrine. Talk a lot about playing Love Live and cats and glitter.
I definitely see a lot of. I definitely do see a lot of pictures from your playing Love Live game.
Yeah. I'm a school idol festival high roller, so I love to crush those pretty idols.
Yeah,
that's whenever I do get a break late at night, because with this huge launch, I don't have a lot of free time, so sometimes late at night, play with my pretty idols.
I've enjoyed the first season of Love Live, but I'm unfortunately not playing the game because I really don't like rhythm games all that much, and I'm not that good at them.
Yeah, it's the one type of video game I'm really good at. I'm freakishly good at rhythm games.
All right. Well, again, I do want to thank you for staying with us.
All right. Thank you very much.
Thank you, guys.
Thank you so much, guys.
Thanks.
Thank you so much. All right, and that's our show, everyone. Thanks for joining us. I'd like to give an extra special thanks to Charlene from Viz Media for joining us this week. Remember to rate and subscribe on iTunes and Stitcher. It really helps us out. And if not, well, in the name of the moon, we'll punish you. This is Mike Ferrer, Matt Brown, and Anthony Simpson signing off to the Negaverse. Have a great night, everybody.